Welcome to a very fun video about a cheerful, amazing, wonderful dog named Jessy. In this video, I'm going to show you how we celebrated Jessy's 3rd birthday and her 2 years with us. Well, at least we think that she's 3 years old right now. She was a stray dog. We adopted her right from the streets of Armenia, so we're not sure on when her birthday is, really. But we decided that we will celebrate it every year on September 22nd. And while I'll show you how much fun we had celebrating her 3rd birthday, I will also tell you her story, how we adopted her, what is she like, and so on. So, September 22nd, 2024. By this day, we had no water for like 3 or 4 days up to this point. So you see, our kitchen is a total mess with all the dishes not being washed for 3 or 4 days up to this point. And we know we are hosting a party and, well, we have to do something. So I came up with what I like to think is an elaborate system of washing the dishes. And I just turned my favorite music on and, well, went through it. Of course, after the party, we were left with even more dirty dishes, but that's fine. I mean, it's life, it's okay. I was very glad to have Jessy's birthday, to invite all of our friends, to share with them the joy of having her in our family. So what's a pile of dirty dishes? Or a second pile? Although I think the second pile was cleaned by my husband, so... Oh, and I wanted to show off a super cute ceramic plate that I made by myself at a wine festival, like a few days before that. And while I'm preparing a vegetable lasagna here for our guests, I am going to tell you Jessy's story of how we adopted her. And I'm going to share a bunch of pictures and videos from 2 years ago. We first met Jessy in the spring of 2022, just like a month or two after we moved to Armenia, and this is the picture we took. So in Armenia there are hundreds of dogs, I mean stray dogs. They are just on the streets and they all are so nice. They are very friendly, super kind. And when you go out, let's say to the store, and you walk to the store, you will always find dog friends, and you just pet to the right, pet to the left, pet to the right, pet to the left. And the dogs are amazing. So we did see Jessy a few times on our way to the store and back. I thought she was a boy at that time, I don't know why, but I just did. And, well, once we were coming back home from the store with bags, and, well, I looked at her, she looked at me, and I guess she saw, in my eyes, she saw hope for her getting a sausage or a piece of meat or something like that. So she followed us. And we live on a street where in the middle of the street there is a gang of dogs. They guard the trash can that they feed from, and there are like 6 of them in a gang, and they are quite aggressive towards other dogs. So then it all happened just in a split of a second. They noticed her and she ran for her life down the street, and it was clear that she wouldn't make it, but she still tried. And they attacked her, and she started screaming, and my husband ran down the street to shush the dogs. And oh my god, it was a very stressful experience. She was screaming so hard, like they were killing her. When Max drove the dogs away, we were left with her, and we noticed that she peed herself and she had a broken leg. Well, at this point I thought still she was a he. So you can kind of see the broken leg on this picture. And we kind of just moved into the town, and we didn't know any veterinarian, and we also knew that there is no vet clinic in the city we live in. So we started to make calls to try to find somebody who can help, because she couldn't step on her leg, so she just froze, and it was dangerous to leave her on the street because of the dog gang. And in stressful moments, I guess, when it's not stressful about me, but like when I have to take care of someone, I become very active, sociable. I just need to, solve the problem. So I started to talk with everybody on the street, with some very nice guys who helped us. They were trying to find a cell phone number of a vet, but the vet is in another city and we don't know what his working hours are, and how do we get him here? Do we pay for his taxi? Can he come? And all that. We spent half an hour, maybe more, trying to figure that out. When we realized there is no vet coming in, we just left her under one of the trees, went home to put our bags with food and kind of find some food for her, and maybe take a blanket and, take care of her. But when we came back, she was gone, just gone, which was strange, and I was really scared for her, because at first, she seemed like she couldn't walk. But then, half an hour later, 20 minutes later, she was gone. And that was quite a bright encounter. I couldn't forget about her until I saw her again. So I was thinking about her, and then after that day, there were 3 or 4 days in a row of great thunderstorm at night. It was just pouring rain. And I was very scared that it's so dangerous for her, that it's cold and slippery and just everything. We did go to around the area where we lived to try to find her, every night of the first 5 days or so, but we never found her. And of course, we were looking for her on our way to the store and back, but we never saw her again. So part of me thought that she maybe had died, and I really associated myself with her and this whole situation, so I became emotionally attached and really cared for her. I don't know how to explain it better. It was just a connection. And then in the first days of June, my grandmother died, and I went back to Russia and spent there, I think, more than a month. So I came back to Armenia in July, and I was totally devastated and grieving, and it was a very hard time for me. And in a little bit, that's when I saw Jessy again. It was really bizarre. Neither me nor my husband saw her for 2 months after that accident, and then, just one day, I go out of the building where our apartment is, and there she is, standing in the middle of our front yard, I guess. And I look at her, and she looks at me, and I'm like, oh my God, you are alive! Geez, please stay there for a minute. I will run up the apartment, get some food, get some water for you. But she just ran off. I was trying to find her again for a few days, but I was just so happy that she was alive, that she's fine, and she had her leg broken, so she was running on 3 legs, and she was running so fast I couldn't reach her. And then in, 3 to 5 days, we saw her again on our street when we were walking Jack at night. God, was I happy and so grateful. I really don't remember how it happened that she was on 4 legs now. She still does one of her front legs is a little bit crooked, I guess. It's just not straight, but it healed by itself. I have no idea how. We asked around. It seemed like nobody really helped her or made a surgery or something like that. But yeah, that's when our second stage of getting together and closer to each other started. I started to take care of her little by little. First, I would just always grab some food on our walks with Jack, because I knew at night we would meet her and I could feed her. Then I thought, she probably needs some anti-tick, anti-lice medication. So I brought the drops for her and I treated her with those. Then next week I would be I can brush her, I think that's the point where my husband realized we are going to make her our dog eventually. And we talked about it with him, and I was saying, no, honey, I'm not sure yet that we should take her. I just want to take care of her. She helped me so much. By taking care of her, I felt like I was, I don't know, it may sound silly, but like I was taking care of my grandmother. So it was my way of grieving and, I guess feeling the love I still have towards my grandma, who was amazing. She was an amazing grandmother. And I felt like I didn't have enough time to show my love to her in her last days. So when I took care of Jessy, I felt like I was doing something really good. And she reminded me of my grandmother in terms of the character. My grandmother was an amazing woman. She was always so active. She worked even after her pension started. She was a person who would just put on some music when she's alone in her apartment. Just like imagine she's 75 or something and she cooks herself dinner and she would turn on the music, her favorite radio station, and just dance to it. And she loved to travel, she was very outgoing. So Jessy, with her spirit, really reminded me of her. So I loved spending time with her and I was falling in love with her more and more. Then at some point there was a program that we volunteered for. The program was to sterilize stray dogs, and we gave Jessy to the program as well, so that she can be sterilized. No matter if we take her or don't take her, it would be good for her anyway. And that's why at some point you can see a pink ear tag on her ears. We took it off in a month or so after we adopted her. But yeah, there are still some videos and photos with her having it. After she came back from her surgery, we gave her a bath. She wasn't a particular fan of it. Well, it was her first bath, so it was understandable. And our good friend Andrei took pictures, our first family pictures with her. And I was so happy to have her. We took her in for a few nights after the surgery, and that's when I realized that I love her very much. She's my soul sister, and I want her to be a part of our family. At this moment, we lived in a tiny apartment, a very small studio, and we were looking for a bigger place to live in. So once we found a house in another part of the city, the question rose by itself, and well, we would either take her to our new house to live with us or just leave her beyond the streets. And of course, at that point, there was only one answer possible. And that's how September 22 became her birthday/adoption day. So what do you think about the story? How do you find it? Write in the comments. I will be very glad to read and answer you. Back to year 2024, the vegetables for lasagna were cooking at this point. I was finishing up the salad and everybody was hanging out on the balcony. We have a very cool balcony. I'm so blessed to have it, where particularly in spring, summer and early autumn, we can just hang out, everybody there, and people can smoke, because we do have some smokers. And I can cook. The only thing that here on the video you see our socks and underwear hanging on the rope. I'm sorry about that, but just that's how we live, that's how we dry clothes. Right now here I'm showing off an amazing present. My dear friend Max gave it to me for my birthday this year. It's a cookbook with recipes from the Sims game. Wow, isn't that amazing? But time to tell you about the actual party. We had some snacks and drinks, obviously, and a few activities that you can see on the video right now. So Juliana, my dear friend, is making a cake for Jessy. For every birthday of our animals, we make a cake with usually with lunch meat and some bread and some dog treats in it. And the animals that do not have a birthday on this day also get their own cakes. We try to give it to them at the same time so that there is no fighting over the cake. And they do get smaller pieces. The birthday pet gets the biggest cake of them all. You can see my husband Max holding Jack, our other dog, on the left right now. It's so that he is calm, because he is a nervous guy and he needs sometimes a bit more of attention. Too many people, smelly birthday cake, you know. I'm just looking at these videos and I feel so thankful to my friends. Guys, you are amazing. Thank you so much for celebrating our dogs' birthdays with us. It is so awesome.
Очень рада, что ты есть. Загадываем желание, чтобы ты была здоровой собакой. Ура! Теперь скорее.
The main dish was ready at that point, and you know what I realized? That I lied to you. It wasn't a vegetable lasagna, I'm sorry. It was actually one of the dishes from the cookbook, from the Sims game. It was something like vegetable pasta. So we started eating, drinking wine. You can see a pomegranate wine on the table. It's one of the most famous wines in Armenia, I guess. If you go to Armenia or to Georgia, you should try those. And sweet Jessy getting some love and extra rubs. Juliana passionately explaining something. And here you see a wonderful young man actually working on a postcard for Jessy. We asked everybody to participate and to draw something or write something, but this wonderful young man, his name is Lyova, was in charge of the whole poster in general. We still have that poster on our wall. Lyova, thank you so much for making it. Jessy loves it. After a few hours of foods and drinks and jokes and delightful conversations, it was time to wrap it up. We said goodbye to everybody, and I want to say it again, guys, thank you so much for sharing important, maybe small, maybe even silly moments of our lives, but even if they are silly, I cherish them a lot. I love you and thank you, and you know the doors of our house are always open for you. After the party, Jessy also had a long personal walk in the park where she enjoyed herself so much, and she got some treats that our friends brought for her birthday. At the end of this video, I just want to say how much I love Jessy, how amazing it is that she's a part of our family, and if you are someone looking to adopt a dog, here is the motivation and encouragement and sunshine rays from me to you to do that. You might get a pair or two of your expensive boots chewed up or something like that, but the behavior is manageable and love is amazing. Thank you so much for watching this video. I wish you to have an amazing day or evening or night ahead of you. Sending love from Armenia from both Jessy and me.